Good morning, and welcome to our closing ceremony. Have all of you enjoyed the 18th World Congress of Soil Science? It's now my pleasure to introduce Alfred Hartemink, the Deputy Secretary General of the International Union of Soil Sciences, to introduce our new IUSS song.
Good morning, everybody. Last year, July, at one of the IUSS meetings, we decided that we should have some sort of song. And as we thought that often these closing ceremonies are a bit like a funeral. And we thought we should make it a little bit more jolly. And I've put in the IUSS alert a request for people who want to be instantly famous to write this song. And Bob Churnside did that. And he wrote a song. But we had a few criteria, and I think I should read them to you. That song should be we thought it should be universally understandable. It should be not too agronomic. It should be singable, jolly, intelligent, possibly humorous. And we thought it shouldn't be too biblical or hallelujah. No protest or complaint song. Anyway, we thought that song should be a bit like soil science and like the people of soil science itself, like the soil scientists. It should be highly diverse. It should be a bit difficult at times, intelligent and fun. Those were the criteria that we worked with. And Bob wrote this song, Bob Churnside, and Bob and Anastasia Churnside. I'm going to sing this song. I wouldn't say for you, but with you, because the words will appear at these screens. So let's see, I should say.
Everybody join in.
This is your song, so sing along heartily, and thank you, Alfred, and thank you for your collaboration and the 472 rewrites of the song.
And all the emails. It is the stuff
in which we toil, from soil we've sprung, to soil we'll go. Protect the soil of this earth so we can grow. From the hot salts, beneath snow drifts, to river salts, where few crops live. Soil is as varied as a rainbow, and is as precious as a rainbow's pot of gold. It is our life, we call it soil. It is the stuff in which we toil. From soil we sprung, to soil we'll go. Protect the soil of this earth so we can grow. Some soils are dry, some soils are wet, some soils are fertile, and from them high yield you get. But if you don't give to the soil, then you will not reap a thing for all your toil. It is our life, we call it soil. It is the stuff in which we toil. From soil we sprung, to soil we'll go. Protect the soil of this earth so we can grow. We study chelates, leachates, and porosity. We learn our muck and peat and mineralogy. Some study urban, some study rural, and we can tell just by the smell who's in the laurel. It is our life, we call it soil. It is the stuff in which we toil. From soil we sprung, to soil we'll go. Protect the soil of this earth so we can grow. Soils are just like humanity, with yellow, brown, red, black and white. You'll see that some are dull and some are gray, and can fall prey to greed of man, that's our decay. It is our life,
Everyone.
we call it soil. It is the stuff in which we toil. From soil we sprung, to soil we'll grow. Protect the soil of this earth so we can grow. A living world beneath our feet. It even lives beneath our streets, with flora and fauna so complete that it can save us from the brown fields of defeat. It is our life, we call it soil. It is the stuff in which we toil. From soil we sprung, to soil we'll grow. Protect the soil of this earth so we can grow.
God bless you and thank you for your work.
Thank you very much. What a wonderful way to start our Congress, and I'm sure this will be repeated many times in succeeding Congresses. At this time, I'm very pleased to call on Larry Wilding, the co-organizer of the 18th World Congress of Soil Science, to provide a status report.
Thank you, President Sparks, and delegates, and participants, guests at this closing session of our Congress. I think I will make a few introductory remarks, and the co-chair, Dr. Lee Sommers, will follow me with some additional details in terms of an overview of this Congress. I think he and I both have, as well as the rest of the organizing committee, have had a great opportunity to be involved on your behalf. But I would say in the next breath that we are probably equally pleased that we have reached this point in the program and will have an opportunity to turn it over to the Aussies. As you all recognize, I'm sure, this Congress had three sponsors. The U.S. National Committee of Soil Science, under the auspices of the National Academy of Sciences, is our adhering member to the International Union of Soil Sciences, and consequently is sort of our official host. Coupled with that sponsorship are what I would say the practical arm of the hosting through the Soil Science Society of America. And I'll have a few more comments to say about the individuals that provided the glue in that sponsorship. And thirdly, of course, officers and representatives of the International Union of Soil Sciences. Representatives of all three of these sponsors are on the stage and will be making comments to you as the closing program goes along. As with any Congress, it takes not only human resources, but it takes financial resources to bring about the results that we all share. In that regard, for this Congress, about $250,000 was raised through public and private donors. We wish at this moment to recognize major donors. The diamond level donors, which contributed $50,000 or above for this Congress, include USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service and the United States Geologic Survey. Platinum level donors are listed on this slide, who contributed $25,000 to $50,000. The Mosaic Company, the USDA Agriculture Research Service, and the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Silver level donors, that is $5,000 to $10,000, are indicated in this slide, and there were 4 of those: DuPont, National Science Foundation, Potash and Phosphate Institute, and U.S. Borax Incorporated. And the bronze level, $1,000 to $5,000, included the Blackwell Publishing, J.R. Simplot, Longwood Gardens, and the Potash Corporation. In addition to these major donors, there were 55 individual donors that contributed a total of $21,000. But before I go further, I want to mention one other source of financial support, and that is through the U.S. National Committee on Soil Science, in the name and honor of Wilfred Gardner, who a charter member of the National Committee, a charter chair, and who I would like to take this moment to simply honor as an individual that could not be present with us at this Congress for health reasons, but is certainly with us in body and spirit. And through his interests and effect, there were 24 graduate students in the U.S. who received scholarships in his honor. The next, and these are all listed in the program, but I still wish to recognize the opportunity to work with the executive committee was one that I'll never forget and we'll all treasure. This involved both president, vice president officers of the union, Don Sparks, Gary Peterson, and Lee Sommers, who will follow me here in a few moments to make some comments, and Lois Peterson as our liaison with the U.S. National Committee of Soil Science. And some of you, at least from perhaps the developing world, found that the liaison with the National Academy was very helpful in procuring visas. The next slide illustrates the organizing committees in which provided the nuts and bolts aspect of logistical, programmatic, and other kinds of planning activities. And they are listed here. The chairs of those committees are listed here simply for your reference. They're also in your program. And finally, the SSSA headquarters was our operating base. I want to especially recognize several individuals that were key to their role. Keith Schlesinger, and I'm going to ask Keith to come out, Linda Nelson, Stacy Phelps. I know all 3 of those are here, and I want them to take a bow. I can't see Keith. Keith's in the back. I think Linda is back there, and I'm not sure where Stacy is. Stacy's also back there. Other members were Pat Scullion, Priscilla Westra, and Ellen Bergfield, but I want to especially keynote the important responsibilities that Keith Schlesinger and his staff provided for our benefit. And lastly, from my comments, is some thank yous. Obviously, a Congress wouldn't be needed if we didn't have participants like are here this morning. You honor us in your presence to be here for this closing ceremony. There were 51 exhibitors, 198 conveners and co-conveners, all of the scientific structure officers of the division, commission, working groups, and last but not least were all of you that provided your services as speakers and poster presenters. Let's give you all a round of applause. And now I'm going to turn the rest of this overview over to Lee Sommers to give you the rest of the story.
Thank you, Larry. What I would like to do is give some facts and figures about the Congress that we've just completed. As far as a program overview, this past week we've conducted 83 different symposia. We created 2 interdivisional symposia that were very cross-cutting, multidisciplinary efforts, one in teaching and another one in research. Each one of the oral sessions also had a companion poster session with it. One of the things that we tried this year was to enhance the visibility and the importance of the poster papers, and one of the things we did was create a series of poster theaters where poster authors could give a brief oral presentation and summary on their particular poster paper. Based on the new division and commission structure within IUSS, at the division level there was 13 separate symposia, 10 poster theaters within the divisions, and at the commission and working group level there was 49 separate symposia in oral and poster sessions, and then 36 poster theater sessions within the various commissions and working groups. The schedule was extremely busy, as you know, starting at 10 o'clock on Monday morning all the way up through the final session yesterday afternoon at 5 o'clock. In addition to the symposia program, we had what I have heard, a very excellent series of mid-Congress tours. The majority of those were sold out, and we sincerely thank you for all of your efforts in participating in those various mid-Congress tours. I'd like to share a few numbers with you as far as the papers and participants. The papers that were submitted to this Congress, there was a total of 110 countries represented in the various papers that were submitted. I think all of you authors know that basically all of the abstract submission, review, and so forth was done via the internet, which was an extremely efficient way for Larry and I to interact with all of the authors. We had a total of 2330 poster papers at this Congress, 307 oral papers for a total of 2638 as far as the total number of papers presented. In the table, I've just pulled out those countries that contributed 20 or more papers to this Congress. The USA led with 734, and then you can see that the next highest countries are India, Australia, Russia, Germany, and Brazil, with all over 100 papers being submitted to the Congress. When we look at the distribution of authors, obviously they represented the 110 countries that I mentioned earlier. There was 5,023 individuals that were involved in the 2,600 papers that were presented at this Congress. The authors are shown for the various countries in the table. The U.S. led with 1,591, followed by India, Australia, Brazil, Japan, and so forth, as you can see. Next, we take a look at the participants that we had registered for the World Congress. There was 2133 total people that was registered for the Congress. Full registrations were 1531, and you can see that we had several one-day, two-day. We had 369 students registered for the Congress, the majority of those being graduate students, and 91 people that were registered for the accompanying person program. These numbers are still a little bit tentative, so we will finalize these working with our staff at headquarters and provide this information to Alfred and others at the IUSS. When we look at where the participants for the Congress came from, We had a total of 105 countries represented at the Congress, which I think is a truly outstanding broad representation, and we're very pleased with the number of countries that could be represented at this program. The U.S. led with 981, with over 100 individuals from Japan, followed by Australia, Germany, Canada, and so forth. So we're really pleased with the broad global representation that we had at the World Congress. Just a quick comment on some of the outputs, the publications that will come from the World Congress. You all realize that we had an extended abstract that was submitted for each one of the papers. This would be for both the oral and the poster papers. Everybody received a CD-ROM when they registered and arrived here in Philadelphia that contains all of the text for those abstracts. A paper version of that abstract was also available. We also worked with the American Geologic Institute to update a publication on soils, society, and the environment. The working group involved with the World Reference Base finalized a publication that was provided to all of you registrants. In addition, IUSS provided a publication on the future of soil science, and Benno Workington edited a historical book on footsteps in the soil that was published by Elsevier. So these are some of the products that we're able to provide to you as registrants for the World Congress. And finally, I would just mention that we are planning on maintaining the abstract website for a minimum of 1 year and hopefully 4 years. So any of you or your colleagues could go to the internet and view and download abstracts that were presented at this particular Congress. So with that, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank all of you for your participation in the Congress. And I would like to second Larry's comment and extend a sincere thank you to Keith Schlesinger and the other staff at SSSA headquarters for their outstanding support of the Congress. Thank you.
Larry, would you and Lee please come forward? We have something to present to you. Lee and Larry have done a magnificent job of co-organizing this Congress, and we want to present to them this morning plaques which read, "The International Union of Soil Sciences greatly acknowledges Larry Wilding and Lee Sommers for their dedicated service as organizing committee co-chairs of the 18th World Congress of Soil Science." Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure to introduce Stephen Nortcliffe, the Secretary General of the International Union of Soil Sciences, who will give us a report on the council meetings. Stephen?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, friends. Almost 4 years ago, I stood in front of the closing ceremony in Bangkok in my first task as your new Secretary General. I had the most difficult task of following in the footsteps of Winfried Bloom, who'd been Secretary General for the previous 12 years. Together with Don Sparks, our President, Gary Peterson, our Vice President, Alfred Hartemink, our Deputy Secretary General, we wondered what lay in store for us. Well, 4 years on, I can say that I have had the most enjoyable time working with Don, Gary, Alfred, and other members of the Executive Committee. I've also enjoyed working together with Lee Sommers, Larry Wilding, and his World Congress and their World Congress Organizing Committee. And latterly, over the last few years, I got to know Keith Schlesinger and his SSSA team, and I can say that has been a real pleasure working with them. During this last 4 years, our task, and it has been a joint task, has been to meet with soil scientists from around the globe, sometimes in their own countries, at other times at international meetings. I have thoroughly enjoyed these opportunities to share thoughts and experiences on soil science, in addition, of course, to enjoying a wide range of cultural experiences in such places as Novosibirsk in Russia, Cartagena dos Indios in Colombia, Delhi in India, Nanjing in China, Seoul in Korea, and of course, many places in Europe and the USA, just to name a few. It is heartening to note that the enthusiasm for understanding and caring for our soils is a spirit that I have encountered throughout the globe, across the globe rather. It's been a pleasure to meet with farmers and discuss the importance of soil and good soil management. But also, during the last 4 years, it's been pleasing to note that I am increasingly having these sorts of discussions with politicians and decision makers. I believe the latter are at last waking up to the vital importance of the sustainable use of soils. As well as these contacts with fellow soil scientists and politicians, I've been privileged to represent IUSS in 3 meetings of ICSU, the International Council of Science. We've met in Brazil, France and China. These meetings provide the opportunity to discuss global issues facing science and scientists. Within ICSU, IUSS has worked closely with unions from related fields. Together with fellow earth science unions, we're developing joint initiatives to raise the public awareness of a wide range of issues related to the earth sciences. We're also developing a program on health and well-being with unions from the biological sciences. Continuing the theme of collaboration among scientific unions, we heard at the opening ceremony about the Year of Planet Earth, and you will have received in your packs a copy of this excellent booklet, Soil, Earth's Living Skin. This exceptionally clear, well-written text is authored by David Dent, John Kimball, and Alfred Hartemink, and is an excellent example of our increased recognition that as soil scientists we must reach out to non-scientists and the general public. And I hope this will encourage you to be actively involved in the International Year of Planet Earth. During the last 4 years, the visibility of IUS has increased. My deputy, Alfred Hartemink, has made a substantial contribution on this front. Alfred has developed our website to a point where it is the first point of call for many searching the internet for information about soil science. He has supported this with regular IUSS alerts to an ever-increasing list of subscribers. This is a monthly brief newsletter which gives important topics of relevance to soil scientists. In the more traditional mode, Alfred edits and produces the bulletin. But again, far more copies are accessed electronically than are read in the printed form. Environmentally, this is an excellent trend and one which we hope to continue. As you know, our next World Congress will be in Brisbane, Australia in 2010. And I look forward to working with my Australian colleagues led by Roger Swift and Neil Menzies and hope to see you all in Brisbane in August 2010. At yesterday's council meeting, we received 2 very strong proposals from Brazil and Korea to host the 20th World Congress in 2014. Yes, we're thinking that far ahead. Both countries made excellent presentations, and after a close vote, Council have resolved that the 20th World Congress of Soil Science will be held in Seoul, Korea. May I take this opportunity to congratulate our colleagues from Korea. It was an excellent presentation and they've worked